Hello everyone, this is Healthy Options with Maureen. Today we'll be making carrot sauce. This recipe is not mine in any way. It's my dear sister's recipe. We went to visit her not quite long ago and she made this beautiful carrot sauce. I told her it would definitely be featuring in Healthy Options with Maureen. It's yum. You have to give this recipe a go. All thanks goes to you, Pamela. Come with me as we make this. I know for sure you will like this. If you've not subscribed, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Thank you. So for our carrot sauce, we'll be needing some tomatoes, vegetable oil, onions, some chopped carrot, minced garlic, dry thyme, some chopped onions. We'll be blending this with the tomato, crayfish, curry powder, some green bell peppers, some nutmeg, bay leaves, and this is completely optional. That's the garam masala. You can make do without this. And we need some scotch bonnet peppers. And last but not the least, we'll be needing some chicken stock and some already grilled chicken. As you can see, I already prepped the chicken beforehand and I grilled this in the oven. So right now we'll be commencing with our cooking. We'll start with blending our tomatoes, onions and peppers, but we're just giving it a rough chop. So we're not going to blend to a smooth puree. We'll just chop it roughly with the blender, then we'll proceed. I'm going to be throwing in some roughly cut onions into the blender as well. We're going to start blending using a plunger. So that's exactly what we are looking for. We are looking for a rough blend. We're going to be pouring it into the pot. And you can see how roughly chopped it is. That's exactly what we are looking for. So I'm going to finish up the other batch with the peppers. So because I want the peppers to be finely ground, before I add on the second batch for tomatoes, I want to grind it first so that it can be a little bit smoother than the tomatoes. So I'm going to start grinding the peppers now. I also have in the blender a little bit of tomatoes so that I can produce some juices with which I can grind the pepper with. I'm just going to turn this on. So we've gotten it into the texture we are looking for. So I'll be adding on the second batch of tomatoes so I can start blending. I'm going to start with the second batch of tomatoes. Remember, we have the pepper ground at the base and we will be roughly chopping this batch as well. So this will be going into the pot as well. So right now I'll be placing our roughly chopped tomatoes, peppers and onions. We're placing it on heat so that we can dry out the fluid in it. Then I'll come back and show you what next to do. So after some time, that's what our tomato looks like. You can see the level at which we poured it and what it has reduced to. We still have some fluid in the tomato, so I'll still let it dry a little bit. But right now we'll commence with the other ingredients. So for the next step, I just placed a pot on heat and I'll be pouring on the oil that I'll be using for this. I'm going to let the oil heat up for just a bit, then we'll start adding on the other ingredients. So the first thing that goes in after our oil is heated up are the bay leaves. The bay leaves go in, and almost immediately the onions go in as well. I'll let the onions cook until it becomes translucent, then we'll be adding on the carrots. So that's the stage we want our onions to get to before we add on the carrots. So we'll be adding on the carrots now. The carrots go in. As you can see, it's a lot of carrots and that's why it's called carrot sauce. So we are going to stir this and we're going to give it some time, approximately 7 to 10 minutes, to slowly cook and do its thing. So I will come back and show you what next to do. I'll be stirring at intervals as we let this cook. Remember, we are cooking under medium heat. So it's been about 7 minutes of cooking. The carrots are quite tender now. The next thing that I'll be going in at this stage is the garlic. So I'm going to be adding on some garlic. As you can see, I left a touch that will go in towards the end. And I'm going to stir this in. And immediately the garlic goes in, our curry powder goes in as well. We are giving that a stir as well. While that cooks, we'll be adding on the crayfish as well. Crayfish goes in, thyme goes in. We'll give this a stir. This will cook for a couple of seconds. Then we'll be adding on our tomatoes. So that's what our tomato looks like at this stage. It's almost dried up. I'll be adding the tomatoes into the carrot mixture right now. Our tomato goes in. So we are going to let this cook until the oil just begins to come on top. Then we'll be adding on our other ingredients. So like I said, if you notice, you can see that the oil is beginning to separate from the tomato itself, as you can see at the surface. I've let this cook for a further 7 to 10 minutes. And now we'll be adding on our chicken stock. The chicken stock goes in. For our chicken, I just seasoned with spices that I like, so you can always season yours with spices that you like. Then grill them and add on to your carrot sauce. You can actually also use beef or even fish for this sauce. Whatever protein you have will work fine. So last but not the least, we'll be adding on the nutmeg and garam masala. Like I said, the garam masala is completely optional. You can make do without this and your carrot sauce will still taste great. So in they go. This always going at the last stage of cooking. I'm going to give this a stir. I'm going to be adding just a touch of salt because I just taste for seasoning and it needs a bit of salt. At this point, you can add your grilled chicken or you can finish cooking and serve like this. And at this point too, you can actually add your beef with the stock together without grilling them. So depending on what works for you, I like to add on my chicken at this stage so that it can get coated with the sauce a bit. So I'll be adding on my grilled chicken now. So that goes in. We're gonna give that a stir. So the last thing that goes in at this stage, after we've added on our chicken, are the green peppers. We add on the green peppers. And then we'll just be adding on a touch of garlic as well. We'll give this a stir. I'll let this cook for just a bit, then we'll be serving. So that's exactly how I prefer to serve my carrot sauce, with some plain basmati rice and some plain beans. I hope you give this recipe a go and let us know what your take is on it. Please, if you've not subscribed, don't forget to do so by hitting on the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up as well if you like this. Thank you.